On the table today, we are looking at the Godzilla vs. Kong Skullcrawler by Hiya Toys. And if you're wondering, this is specifically Skullcrawler number 10 from the film Godzilla vs. Kong, who had his shit rocked by Mechagodzilla. Yeah, this guy didn't really get that much screen time. I don't know who got less screen time, Warbat, Nazuki, Titanis Nazuki, or the Skullcrawler. Anyways, the front of the box shows where the Skullcrawler came out of, the containment unit. It says the name of the figure, the film it's from in the corner, and all that. On the bottom, it shows more smoke, says Godzilla vs. Kong. On one side, it shows a pose of the number 10 Skullcrawler, or number 10, basically in the Mechagodzilla fighting arena. Shows, I think a different pose on that side. On the back of the box, it shows the fighting arena and two poses for the Skullcrawler, which you saw on both sides of the box. The top is just the same as the bottom, but it got a bit damaged in shipping. Anyways, let's get the figure out of the box, and if you're wondering, yes, it does the same thing as any other Hiya Toys figure with all the copyright mumbo jumbo. And here he is, number 10. For our first ever actual good Skullcrawler figure, not including the Playmates, this is really good for a highly articulated Skullcrawler. Very screen accurate. And if you're wondering if this guy comes with any accessories, like let's say, I don't know, some gore pieces, maybe an extra head for when Mechagodzilla splits him in half. Or anything. If some people are wondering, do you get any accessories? Yes, one thing. An extra tongue piece. No, not like that. Not like that. Anyways, I guess this is some time where you can play some royalty figures or whatever. So what you want to do is open the mouth up, like so. Actually, hold on, I should probably zoom in. Okay, so if you're wondering how do you change the tongues out? Okay, so what you want to do is open the mouth, and the already tongue in there, you want to try and pull out, like so. Now, there's a crevice in there. Now, you just want to push the other tongue in there with all your force, and there you go. You have the other tongue used in Godzilla vs. Kong, where it's more unraveled than the raveled up normal tongue. Anyways, we'll get into that later into posability. We'll just put the normal tongue back in. There we go. So, what do I think about this figure's posability? It is pretty good. Like, it's definitely very decent. Something I didn't expect from a Skullcrawler figure. So, let's get into posability then. Okay. So your jaw's a bit unhinged. I'm gonna have to fix that later. Anyways, the jaw, instead of being on two separate parts, is on one part. So it can open and close, like so. The tongue, both of them, are on ball joints, but one that has a better, more prominent ball joint is the second tongue, since it is used for when it is roaring. Okay, pop it off, put it back in. It is a very simple thing to do to switch out the tongues. Don't think of that in a horny way. Anyways, the head is on a ball joint. The neck's also on a ball joint, and the lower neck is on a very tight ball joint. The arm moves in and out and has a base or a swivel right there at the base. Both arms have that, or legs, whatever you want to call it. He has a double bend at the knee and a swivel at the foot, because I think that's a ball joint and a hinge joint, which allows for a really good pivot. Let me get to it. Which allows for a really, really good pivot. Like, that is amazingly good. Even a bit too good. And then lower torso's on a ball joint, the lower tail's on a ball joint, and the main tail is on a ball joint and a bendy wire. So it can keep whatever pose you put it in. For a Skullcrawler figure, this thing is actually surprisingly poseable. I thought it may be just like a brick, but this is Hiya Toys we're talking about. This figure is definitely very good, just like how its size is very good. The Hiya Toys Skullcrawler next to the Bandai Mechagodzilla 2021. The Hiya Toys Skullcrawler next to the Funko Pop Kong 2021. And by the way, they're both from GVK. The Hiya Toys Skullcrawler number 10 from GVK next to the Playmates GVK Kong. Let's try that one more time from the top. That's not what I meant from. I said from the top. Whatever. This thing keeps on wanting to fall over. Jesus. Let's try this one more time. The Playmates Kong from Godzilla vs. Kong next to the Hiya Toys Skullcrawler number 10 from Godzilla vs. Kong. The Hiya Toys Skullcrawler number 10 from Godzilla vs. Kong next to the SH Monster Arts. Actually, did I even... Okay. The Hiya Toys Skullcrawler number 10 from Godzilla vs. Kong next to the SH Monster Arts Godzilla -1. And finally, my previous review, the Hiya Toys Burning Godzilla or Thermonuclear Godzilla and the Playmates Warbat next to the Hiya Toys number 10 Skullcrawler. So, would I recommend this figure? For its posability. So first let's go over the figure as a whole. Posability, 10 out of 10. Compared to the Playmates Skullcrawler, which was a brick that just had, if I'm correct, opening, closing jaw, and rotating arms. Let me do that. So, my final verdicts on this figure. Posability. It's better than the Playmates figure, which, if I'm correct, just had an opening and closing jaw. The arms could move in and out, and a bend at the elbow, the knee, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, compared to that, this here, yeah, it's a solid improvement. 10 out of 10. Because it has all the joints, the same joints as the Playmates, but more. Since it has a ball joint at the head, which can give it more posability. It can even look down that far and look up that far. Like, Look at that. You get the whole scene from Skull Island where it's looking around for people. The jaw is a very, like, it even has detail inside the mouth. Look at that. Look at all that. This figure is really good for that. Plus the whole idea of a bendy wire in the tail. Don't know how else he would have done it. I would say ball joints would make it look very weird. Let's say this is how most tails should be handled. SH or not. Like, even Godzilla. I wonder how a bendy wire Godzilla tail would look. I think there is one out there, but I don't know how it did. Anyways. Yeah, posability, 10 out of 10. Screen accuracy. It looks just like the model from the film. 10 out of 10 high. I always have to give you 10 out of 10 for screen accuracy. Like, Jesus. This thing is a 10 out of 10. The sculpting, the painting, it's wonderful. Accessories. 9.5. I don't know what you would give a Skullcrawler for accessories. So, 10 out of 10 because I don't know what you would give it other than the other tongue. Maybe another head for the split part when Mechagodzilla slices him in half. Like an alternative head, so you can have it, this part here, facing straight, so Mechagodzilla can shoot the beam into the mouth. Maybe they'll eventually come out with that once they make their own Hiya Toys Mechagodzilla battle version or whatever. Okay? Overall, I would say this figure is pretty good. Plus the price, $50, $60 for this? Decent. The Playmates one was like $20, but still. A figure for this amount of posability that actually can do a pivot, can actually do like bend, like this kind of articulation for an arm, can do a full head swivel, can look up. You get the point. With this kind of articulation, this figure's price is really good. So would I recommend the Hiya Toy Skullcrawler? I would recommend either or, because if you didn't know, they also made a Skull Island variant. So yeah, I would recommend either or, because these Skullcrawlers, their posability, through the roof. Through the roof. It is a very good figure. I would highly recommend it. Highly. That is if you I would also recommend it if you have a SH Monster. It's Mechagodzilla 2021. Since Hiya Toys have not made one yet. But hey, one of these days, maybe I'll get one. One of these days. Anyways, peace out. See you later, alligator. Have a great day or night wherever you live. And, I'll get ready for my next review. The Hiya Toys Shimo. Bye-bye.